the importance of vibrato, a guitar technique, which I use a lot, but I just wanted to, in a little while, explain why. So I'll let you hear what I mean first, in terms of varying forms of vibrato. One is the finger vibrato, which Eric Clapton talked about many years ago, and the tremolo vibrato, the way that can be used. I'll just demonstrate a bit of it on this track, and then I'll just talk about it for a second. It won't be a long video. So that was possibly an overindulgent use of vibrato. So I used several forms of it there. Now my preference for vibrato has always been sort of to make it fairly wide. Not as maybe as wide as Paul Kossoff may have been able to make it in the old days. And vibratos will sound different on different guitars. I've chosen to play it on this because it's got humbucker and single coils, and you heard it the way it was played. But there are several techniques, so let's just deal with some that people use, which is to vibrate the finger that way. That's just not one of my techniques. It's a very classical, but it doesn't quite create enough for me. And so my tendency is to try and keep the note on the spot. Let's start with that basic vibrato. Keep the note on the spot, and then and deal with the way that different fingers deal with it. So let's still with the first finger. Keep it wide, and you'll see it will go on for ages. Same note using the second finger. And you can see what I'm doing with each one is this kind of wide pull. Third finger makes it much easier. And what you're doing with the third finger is you're actually using all three fingers to help vibrate the note. So although the vibrato's on that note there, you're using these two fingers just to support it behind. And that is my preference if I'm going to end on a... Get that. Obviously that doesn't quite work as well here. Now that's one form of vibrato, just using finger vibrato. And then let's just move on to when you would bend a note and vibrate it. So, two ways, just again using just the fingers. If you just take the note, and you might be only bending it a semitone, for instance. Just there. Now that works, but I like to actually bend it up to the next note in total, and that's always my aim, to making sure that it's perfectly in tune. So let's take a simple bend here to D to E. So you're going up to that. And then you can make that quite wide because you're pushing against the fretboard. So you can then vibrate the note really quite wide. And then one advantage to, the biggest advantage to that kind of vibrato is that you can get squeals out of it without actually just squealing a note on its own. You can cause the whole thing to go into feedback, and if I had the volume higher I would show you that. But at the moment I'm just doing it, as I said, it's the basic themes on pop. combine them all. Now the advantage with, again, using a super strat like this, what I would call this classic super strat, is to actually then start to incorporate vibrato that you get from the tremolo arm. Now, I know lots of people use tremolo arms and think, you know, they love all the tremolo tricks, like, you know, which are lovely, but I don't tend to personally use that, but I was just showing you one example of things that you can do, but tremolo arms for me, they work perfectly by giving long vibratos, slightly descending lines. So you can take, you know, you've got the harmonic there as well. So you don't need to go for the complete dive bomb and taking it right down in the way that you might hear heavy metal players do. And you get this, and then you can get the smooth vibrato on it. And if you put them all together and use your original vibrato with it, I don't know if there's much of this track left, but I'll try and bring it back for a minute and you'll hear, and I'll try and put them all into it. That was it really. So if you like this, like and subscribe. Now vibratos will be your own personal choice. I'm just showing you what I preferred, but if you like this video, please like and subscribe, because I keep saying it will help me in the long run if you do. But I was trying to show, so the techniques involved in vibratos, eventually it is really just by down to practice how you get this width. When you first start, you're going to go, it's all going to be a mess. Try and do it evenly. And just keep pushing it evenly. Until you've got it so it's all underneath your fingers. It will always be the same. It's never a rush to push a note and vibrate it just because it feels right, or you think it sounds right, or you think you're listening to other players. That's the way that they do it. It takes, I think Eric Clapton said it took him 18 months to get a perfect vibrato. Paul Kossoff just started off as a classical player, so But then he ended up with one of the most remarkable vibratos in the world. Joe Bonamassa talks about vibratos quite a lot. So it's just something to consider, but just practice it slowly, but always make sure that you're bending to a note that's in tune, and then try and hold the vibrato for as long as possible, because that will reassure you. It will also help in terms of when you're looking to do runs and end on notes. You know that in there, all of the phrasing you'll start to make totally in tune, because you're emphasising where you're in it. You're not doing, you know, that's always the, you know, it's very. It's the big mistake that players make, is that they bend notes but they don't know where they're going. So always try and think, well, if I'm in A, I'm in A minor, what I don't want to, if I'm bending that note, I don't want to bend it there, so I could do that, because that's basically doing, but I'm bending to there. If you see what I mean, so you're always making sure that you're bending up to the next note. As I said, please like and subscribe if you think you like this video. Thank you very much.